it's Sally Steele, and welcome to another episode of my Sally Steele Rock Show. I hope you enjoyed this interview I did with Mick Mars just before Motley Crue started their residency here in Vegas a few years back. Mick talks about guitars, Motley Crue, why he doesn't like Kiss, and confirms in this interview that he and I slept in the same bed. You'll have to listen to the end to hear those details. So here's Mick.
Hi, Mick. How you feeling today?
I'm doing okay.
Oh, good. I always worry about your health, you know. We're excited to talk to you about coming to Vegas here. Are you planning to do any special things for the fans while you're here playing in Vegas, like meet and greets, anything like that?
Oh, yeah. We have quite a bit of stuff going on. Some meet and greets and, the production, because we get we're doing like the little residency there for like 3 weeks.
Right.
So we'll be able to, take this thing and perhaps take it to a different level.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like production wise and stuff, because we can sit there and experiment and play with stuff instead of being locked into one thing.
Right.
This much time to do this and go like, you know what, this didn't quite work. Let's try this.
Oh, okay.
Do things like that. It gives us a chance to not only develop the show, but also who knows? We could go like, hey, you know what? Let's take this out tonight and put this in. Like song wise or production wise, to make it a little different for the fans and people who come to listen to us, or people who stumble across us, or drunk people that fall through the door and go like, what's this?
Right, okay.
Who knows?
Great. Now, are you still planning to go out on tour this summer or anything like that? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
We are, after Las Vegas, I think that we're off for a very short time. And if it works out correctly, if it works out right, there'll be a co-headline with Kiss. Present to them and go like, check this out. What do you think?
Well, I have to ask this, Mick. You don't like Kiss. You said that in the dirt. That's why you didn't call Nicky back when you met him at the liquor store.
Oh, like Kiss and those guys? Well, I wasn't into that kind of music. And I'm still not.
Uh-huh.
It's like, but it's a good package.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking business-wise, it's a good package.
Okay.
And also thinking about the audience, the listening audience, the fans, the people that are fans of Kiss are fans of Motley Crue as well.
Right.
And putting them together. The other part, like if I don't care much for Kiss, then I don't. It's like I don't know if they care much for us, but that really doesn't matter.
I agree. I just had to bring that up because I know I started my magazine.
It's all good.
Yeah, I started my magazine, 8 years ago now, for Motley Crue. I've followed you guys for 30 years. I've met you numerous times at NAMM, and even back in the 80s, we briefly crossed paths, but, I really admire your group. So, yeah, I did remember I had to bring that up, that you didn't like Kiss.
It's all good. I was honest, I still don't. But, they're, I don't know them that well, but, I can say that I don't like them personally. I just don't care much for their music.
Right.
I was more into like a different headspace than Nicky was. Nicky was only 17,
Right.
And it was like, that was a heavy influence on those, and those kinds of bands like that, T-Rex,
right,
kind of stuff, and of course, me being older, I was into more stuff like Hendrix and Jeff Beck.
Yep.
And these kind of stuff. So.
Well, when you opened up, when you guys toured with Kiss in the 80s, I heard that Gene Simmons and they were jealous because you guys were better than them, and you got more crowd reaction. So you guys go back a long way. Maybe it'll be that like this year when you tour.
I think maybe that they got a little envious because we were a new band and with new music, and I think that people wanted at that time a new thing, which we were. I don't think it was necessarily a lot of bands think it's like, oh, here's the competition. I don't think that way. It's like, music is music, even though I don't like the music that much, but it's still music, and other people do. There's room for all sorts of stuff, but I didn't feel any really negative or feeling like I was kicking anybody's butt or anything.
Right.
I was just up playing. And
do you get along with Gene?
I've talked to him a couple of times, but that was in the early days, and I was, kind of a drunken smart ass. So, I think that he just looked at me like, another loser or something. I don't know what he was thinking, but, it's like I only talked to him a couple times.
Right. Well, you'll have plenty of time to reminisce on tour.
Yep.
Speaking of the early days, now, if you hadn't have made it as a guitar player in your life, what would you be doing? I mean, were there any other career paths that you were considering at all? Because I know that's all you did was play guitar.
I'd probably make guitars.
Okay, all right. Well, you should be doing that now.
Yeah, I know, but, I don't have the equipment to do it.
Okay.
That stuff's expensive, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's plenty of people to talk to out in NAMM. Are you going to be at NAMM this year?
I'm not sure. We have a lot of things going for Vegas. I got like a list of stuff that I need to do, and they haven't really sent me the invitation yet. Although I know John Cruz and Nick Bocop from Marshall and Fender, but they know, and they'll probably invite me to come on down there. But I gotta go, look, guys.
Okay. Well, no big deal. I always see you there every year. I usually put a magazine in your hand. Hey, pose with this, but you don't remember. You meet so many people. But I do want to give you a copy of my magazine, Vegas Rocks magazine, when I see you here in Vegas. So hopefully we can make that happen.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask some interesting questions here real quick. Now, if you guys went through everything there, drinking, drugs. If you were 18 again and you had a choice, would you choose a different path in career or the way you lived? Or if you had it to do over again, would you do anything different?
No. And I know a lot of people would say that, but no. I can't think of any other thing that would have made me who and what I am today had I did it different.
Uh-huh.
And I know it sounds like cornball and typical answer, but it's true. I mean, I might have been a conservative old man instead of a crazy old man.
Okay. Well, we're glad the way everything turned out for you. Let me tell you. Excuse me. Have you? There were rumors that Vince was leaving after this tour. Is there any truth to that?
I would have to say no. Sometimes he says, and I'm not going to say anything, negative, but sometimes Vince will say something that, just like comes out. And it's like, and if he reads that out, he'll probably get mad at me.
Yeah.
It's relax, Vince. It's all good. But, it's like, sometimes I'll say something that like, screw you guys, I'm going to leave, or do that, and it's like, you got to think about where you're going.
Yeah.
When if Mick Mars was to go out by himself, by myself, how many people you think I'd sell tickets to? 3?
I'd buy one.
With Molly, thank you. With Molly, it's like, it's me. I mean, that's what made the 4 of us. And I don't think, like the Beatles, any 4 of those guys, wouldn't be able to do Beatles without one another. Like if John quit and somebody else took his place, it wouldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same with us. I mean, we can do things on our own, like Mick Jagger would, or Keith Richards would, or Ronnie would, or like Paul went off after things were done, and we can do stuff like that. But we always know that Motley Crue is our staple. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's our gig. It's who we are. So
Right.
as far as him saying that, it's like I think he's probably just in one of those moods.
Okay. I know those moods. I see him all the time here in Vegas.
What?
What's that?
I couldn't hear you.
I said, I understand those moods of his. I see him all the time here in Vegas.
Yeah? How does he look?
What's that?
How does he look?
Well, he looks great to me. He just came to our Vegas Rocks Magazine Awards at the Hilton, and we gave him a Lifetime Achievement Award, and, I love him to death.
Cool.
I'm a fan of you guys. Which brings me to another question. Now, it's always saying you guys don't get along. I hear different things, and maybe you won't even say, there's things, they don't even talk to each other, but who do you get along with the best in the band? Honestly.
That's kind of a hard question. Probably Nikki and I get along the best, but I also really get along with Tommy really well. And Vince has kind of distanced himself, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And
lead singers do that, and he lives here.
They got LSD, right?
What's that?
They have LSD.
Right.
Lead singer's disease.
Exactly.
But he's kind of distanced himself, not from the band so much as like, from the band, but not really. I mean, he's there, he does his job, he does this, he does rehearsals, he does everything he's supposed to do. But as far as, going and hanging out, I was like, I mean, it's kind of like, would you go hang out with your brother? No, I'm going home and being with my family.
Right,
you know
right.
What I mean? That's kind of to the level it's gotten.
Well, it seems like it was always that way, that Vince was the odd man, in a way. I mean, after the when he had that accident, and then he was out, and then he was back. So but I was just curious, do you hang out with Nikki and Tommy?
Well, not really.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we are. Sorry, our what do you call them? Our band meetings, things like that. What we're going to plan on doing next, where we're going, how we're doing this, how we're doing that. With our manager and and all that stuff. And
so it's business. It's not
things in motion.
It's business. It's not as fun as it was in the 80s to hang out.
In the 80s, we would hang out a lot more than we do now.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we were a little bit more naive back then, too.
Right. Do you miss not living with them the full time when they lived in that house over at Clark Street?
No.
You don't feel like you missed out?
Nope. Not even close.
Come come on, the filth, the squalor. You were on the beach of Redondo Beach, and they all lived there in the house and with the roaches.
There you go.
You were the smart one always. And you always seemed like you were like the George Harrison. You're the quiet one, and everybody else is fighting, and you're just like, kind of like, in the middle of everything, just being calm.
Yeah, I just kind of sit back and chuckle at her, because, you gotta go, hear, they're all young guys, they didn't quite, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's like young boys have a lot of testosterone. There you go.
Right.
So,
now, when you were younger and you met the guys, did you get a feeling at that moment, I'm going to make it with this band? Did that hit immediately?
With Nikki, when I first met Nikki, I went like, yeah, this is a good step. I heard Tommy, I went, yeah, this is great. When the first singer came in, I went like, I had doubts. And I pulled Nikki and Tommy aside, and I said, I don't like this guy. And then Tommy said, Mick doesn't like this particular singer. I go, no, I like this little kid that I saw down at Starwood.
Yeah.
Which was Vince. And his band, Rock Candy. I went like, that's the guy I want. I don't care if he can sing. I don't care if he can sing. I don't care. Look at the women. He has sex appeal. He has charisma. He has this. He has this. And that's the front man. Sex sells. He's the guy to do it. He comes out. He sang very well. And we blew up.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was friends with Tommy anyway, right?
Huh?
He was friends with Tommy anyway before that.
He was kind of friends with Tommy. I think they went to school together.
Right.
Yeah. And,
okay. So you knew from that instant.
I don't know if they got along in school or not, or if they really, said hey to anything or hung out or anything, but, doesn't matter. They are now.
Right.
I have to for at least 2 hours.
Okay, great. Yeah, I did mention that we've been doing the Vegas Rocks Magazine Awards here in Las Vegas. In fact, the one this year is going to be where you're playing at the Joint at the Hard Rock, and I really want to pay tribute to the people that I think should deserve it, not who the Grammys or MTV says. You know what I mean? So I think you are definitely, one of the most ultimate guitarists, in the world, in my opinion. Of course, you're in my favorite band too. So.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
And you hear this stuff all the time, I'm sure, but
not that radical.
Okay. Radical. That's funny.
So I'll get something from a magazine like say like, hey, vote for your top favorite guitar. I never vote for me.
Right.
And I'm on the list, but I never vote for me. And guess what? I'm not even on the list. You know what I mean? It's like when the people, they go like, okay, we got this guy and 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 this guy won.
That really sucks.
Huh?
That really sucks.
Well, I think that the let me see, the magazine is kind of really conservative anyway. You know what I mean? Not yours.
Right.
Not another magazine.
Uh-huh.
They're kind of conservative. They used to not be, but they are now.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to, in one of my future issues, I'm the publisher of the magazine. I can do whatever I want. I am going to set up top guitars all time, and I'm going to put you in the top 5, okay?
Oh, thank you.
We're going to make our own list for you, Mick.
Very good.
I'm going to make this your year, and then we're going to fly you out. We're going to honor you at the Vegas Rocks Magazine Awards. So it's a great thing. I mean, if you,
okay, cool. I'll do that.
And I know you got to get off the phone. I just got 2 real quick questions.
Okay.
I think you kind of answered this before. Do you have any regrets in your life, personally or professionally?
Do I have any what? Regrets?
Any regrets? Yeah.
No, not really. probably, well, I don't know. When the time is right, the time will be right. But I was going to say maybe not writing a solo record yet. But, you know, when the time comes, it's likely to come. But, you know, I can't say that I have any regrets about it. But, no, I don't have any regrets.
Well, that's like a goal of yours, then.
Yeah, it's a goal. More of a goal than a regret.
Okay, all right.
Perfect.
And the same question, you know, what are you most proud of in your career, professionally or personally?
Well, let me see. Oh, I know. I got probably, if not the best, the second best tone on the planet. My guitar tones?
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm very proud of that.
Okay.
You should see, I mean, you should see some of the people when we play with them, like Aerosmith or any of these bands. You know, they come up and they go like, "Oh my God, I haven't heard anything like that in my life."
Great.
I worked on that tone for years and years and years and years and years. It was like when I first heard Jeff Beck play, and the tones that he was getting in the different little things, and the same with Hendrix. You know, I was going like, even if you weren't like out of the ordinary, like Jimi Hendrix wasn't like a buy or anything. He played from his heart, but the tones that were coming out from that was like real inspirational to me as well. And I said, tone matters a lot.
Right.
And so that's when I started going like, I'm going to develop a really, really great tone where, you know, people will go like, and this is the honest to God truth, okay? Honest to God truth. Aerosmith guys bowed to my ass. I'm going, wow.
When was that?
When we played with them on the Root of All Evil tour. I think we did like 3 weeks with them or something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then,
so Joe Perry bowed too?
Huh?
Joe Perry bowed too?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And he actually, Joe asked me to come up and play on stage with him. And, so I played with the guys. It was a lot of fun for me, you know. They played like, you know, a blues song, which is like, you know, where a lot of my roots lie in blues, you know, so it's like, so it's like jamming and having a good time with, you know, just having a good time.
Right.
Watching all the people's mouths drop open. It's like the coolest. But Joe and I, you know, sitting there going like, what? You know, so it was like, it was cool.
That's great. Yeah. Well, we're proud of you. Last question. It's kind of crazy. Just bear with me. I mean, this is off the record, okay? Now, when I lived in North Hollywood in 1984, I came out in my living room one day and there were these teenage kids there. And I said, "What are you guys doing here?" "Oh, we're waiting to see the guest room where Mick Mars slept." And I'm like, "What?" They go, and well, now my ex-husband, my husband at the time, he's like, yeah, Mick Mars slept in this bed in this room. It's like, that's what they say. He said that you had slept in that guest room, in that bed.
What's guest room?
In my house, before Motley Crue made it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always wondered, I've got to verify that with Mick someday. I mean, do you remember, like, sleeping on a twin bed in some house in North Hollywood?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do.
It was on Whitley.
I think so. Is that off of, oh, God, I can't remember the cross street now.
Where there was Whitsett and, I'm even forgetting now.
Yeah, there was one. But I know a liquor store was close.
I don't know about that. There's Laurel Canyon, and then you drive down this street. It was called Whitsett was the actual street, but that wasn't the main street. I even forget.
Yeah.
No, Wilkinson was the exact street. See, I'm even forgetting. It's so long ago. Wilkinson, I think, was so long ago.
Yes, I know exactly the spot.
Really? It was like somebody said Roy Rogers used to live there. You go up the stairs.
Yeah, and that's where I also walked to repair motorcycles. I did that for a while too.
Okay, so you remember that house and everything.
And check this out. The same building that I did motorcycles at.
Yeah.
It's Magnolia and Whitsett, I believe.
Yes.
And yes, that's where that motorcycle shop, the repair shop that I worked at, was the post office at the time. Roy Rogers was a kid. When he was 14, that was his first job, sweeping the sidewalks.
Wow.
So, Roy Rogers and I have something in common.
Wow. So, was that just a one night or something that you used to sleep in there? Or?
No, I lived there for, I think, 9-10 months.
Really? Okay, so we've lived in the same house before.
Yeah? Wow.
Yeah,
That was me making all the racket in the garage. No, that was before you lived there.
Yeah.
That was in the 70s when I was doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, the post office right across the street, yeah. Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that. They had told me Roy Rogers lived there. It's like all these famous people lived there. They said that...
Disney lived down the street.
What's that?
Walt Disney used to live down the street.
Really?
Yeah. Down Magnolia.
Did you meet him?
No, I never met him. He's been long out of there. That's where he, I guess, invented Mickey Mouse or something. Mm-hmm. And he moved out of there like a way long time ago. It's just like Roy Rogers had moved out of that house I was in.
All right.
It was actually not really a townhouse, but there was 4 apartments in it, I think. I think they did that with it. I think it used to be at one time a house, but there was like 4 apartments in it or something, or maybe 2, the top and bottom.
Yeah, the top was where we lived, and then later on they filled in like 2 apartment buildings underneath there. They said that
that's where I lived too, on the top.
Yeah. Well, they said that was the room you used to sleep in. They said that was your bed too.
Really?
Did you take your bed with you? Do you remember?
No, I didn't.
So you left so that was your bed.
I guess so.
It was a little twin bed. It was like,
yes,
it's really soft. Well, I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, it was like I painted my room orange.
I don't remember the color. That's funny. Okay.
I had to paint it orange because it was like really like drab, old. And the only one that was like the cheapest paint was orange. So
right.
I painted orange.
Well, let me just say, like, every time I had a fight with my ex-husband in '84, I used to go in that room and sleep all the time, and in your bed. So we've actually slept in the same bed.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah. I didn't think you would remember, but hey, that clears that up. My ex-husband wasn't lying to me after all.
That's right.
Cool.
That's where I lived for quite a while.
Well, thanks so much, Mick. Someday I'm going to show you the photos, the personal photos I've taken of you all over the years. I mean, I have so many of you with Dick Dale and, posing with them. I have you from them.
Right.
Getting into your limo and I've bumped into you many times. I mean, I started the magazine and then you did the Motley Crue press conference.
I'm sorry?
I'm going to email you at a later time some photos of you that I've taken that I think you'll really like.
I hope.
What's that?
When I was young, I hope. Right.
But I know I have some good ones I think you'll like. So.
Cool. Very good.
Well, I appreciate your time today, Mick, and we can't wait to see you in Vegas next month.
Sounds cool.
And I'm gonna find a way to give you a copy of the magazine. You guys are on the cover, and you'll have your interview in the February issue as well. So
Great.
I hope you do some meet and greets and I can find a way to get the magazine to you.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Thank you so much, Mick.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
That bed was so comfortable. My friend called it my Mick Mars mush bed. I was so mad that my friend, whose garage I was storing it in, just threw it away without telling me. I mean, that could have gone to a museum or something. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We will see you next Thursday at 6 p.m. for my Sally Steele Rock Show at youtube.com/Sally Steele, and we will see you on the streets of rock and roll.